Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Let me fix my microphone while we're doing this. I hope y'all are having a great time. So sorry I do have to go ahead and take down, I guess, the reactions from 2 times a week to once, maybe twice if I'm lucky. Only because life is a little chaotic at the moment. There's a lot of moving parts and, sometimes you just need to put attention to IRL stuff. Best way to put it. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a great day. This episode actually goes out to, originally I was going to do it for like one-on-one people on Discord or YouTube comments or whatever. But this is just going to go out to everyone, I guess, everyone that has participated so far, left a comment, has been constantly messaging, whether on Discord or YouTube or whatever it may be. Like, I really do appreciate the growth and the big spark and, I guess, intelligent discussions that we've been having. I will remind everyone, please don't spoil anything. I do have mods that go ahead and remove some comments if they're deemed a little too spoilery. I usually don't look at anything until like way later on down the line. I have my brother and other mods that go ahead and take a look at the comments before I get a chance to even look at them. So please don't spoil the show, what's to come, any of that. Even if I have questions that are like teetering on the edge and you kind of want to say something, if you are going to spoil, make sure you put a giant spoiler tag so that way, we can just glance over it. No one has to look into it or anything like that. Anyway, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and just jump into it? Oh, that's right. Wow. One of the most powerful individuals out there, and I don't know about that. That reaction from her. What about it? I'm kind of wait a fucking minute. Is she like... Wait a fucking minute. Wait a minute. Is she a part of like the witch cult this entire time? Like, and if... Whoa. Whoa. Because then she's been leading the discourse and the discussion in this certain way, Or is it just like, I don't know, like, it's sort of a... It's different, right? I don't know. I'm so confused. I am legitimately confused. It's one of those moments where, like, everything gets thrown out of perspective. But if she is, say, a spirit, right? Like Puck or something like that, then is she contracted to stay at the library? And if so, by whom? Right? There's so many questions. We'll continue. Yeah, that's... I wonder what's written in it. Because it probably is, bro. Damn. Commanded. Thank you. Thank you. It'd be fucked up if it was just like completely empty. And this is just literally like a self-defense thing that like someone keeps relying on. What? Okay, so you are following it. Her mother. Right, but do you believe that conviction that you're saying? This reminds me a lot of, like, especially when you get to work with individuals that have a lot of trauma, or any form of I would say trauma, like during their childhood or something like that, when they feel like they've been too vulnerable, exposed a lot. You tend to have a lot of reactions, and I tend to bring this up in some of my other videos, which is like, what do? You have a couple of things, which is you can fight, you can run away, you can freeze. There's different attitudes and different perspectives that you can take, but when you reveal something so vulnerable, you cling to the defense wall that you thought you had built up. And it seems to me, right, like, why didn't she save anyone else? And that's a really good question that Subaru brought up. Is it because she's tired of sort of following what she has to do, or is it because she's given up as well? Right? Because you yourself, right? You can't. I don't know how to put it. How can you save other people when you can't save? And any form of mental health, any form of medical help, or whatever, there's a big saying for self care. Just like, best way to put it is like, if you're really empathetic and if you're really caring about other people, they do take, if we're going to go into like a spiritualistic vibe or anything like that, they take some energy from you, right? And it's not just like, oh, well, that sounds conceited. No, it's quite literally like the time that you're spending with someone and like the emotional being there with someone. It can be draining, right? So I can't imagine what it must be like for someone to be stuck in one place for so long, seeing people probably coming and going from family members and all that, starting to liven up a little bit. Maybe even getting a little bit attached to Subaru because he's the one person that is really unexpected, keeps coming through your doors, keeps being a dork, keeps doing all of these things, and boom, you let your defenses down. You let this man in one last time. And instead of saying something like, we have to get out of here, we have to do this, we have to do that, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it goes from, instead of trying to be empathetic and understanding, to a direct attack on her, lowering her walls, right? And if that happens, what do? You're going to cower. You're either going to cower, you're going to attack back, or you're going to cling. And in this situation, we can see all that. Like, even if she is a member of the witch's cult, right? Which, even I'm get a sour taste in my mouth for that. Let's put that aside for a minute, right? And just look at this as like just the power dynamic thing. Like, what would you want if you were in that situation? And hopefully you can hear the theme song in the background. My brother's watching TV in the back. But yeah, so you have this big power dynamic there. So where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And how are you going to do it? And for me, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of sad. It's like she was expecting a different response from him, and it clearly wasn't there. So. Ooh. Wait. Oh no. Here we go again. See, even like the shock, like it's as though she doesn't want to see others suffer in her presence, but at the same time, she doesn't want to go ahead and stay in this presence, like this realm or whatever. I don't know if that describes it correctly, but damn, having to revive every single time, that, which is great, but now you have more information that you can work off of. And off of that restarting point, I guess I'll continue as it's going on. Off of that restarting point, you learn a lot and you're supposed to take it into it. And I know I've questioned the whole, like, him restarting and, like, sort of losing its effect. And the big point that I'm trying to make here is, like, yeah, you can get used to dying a little bit. You can, you can start saying, oh yeah, no, well, like, you just suffer through pain and then you get back up and you start imposing yourself. But don't you start losing parts of your humanity throughout it. Even if you have a goal, even if you have an objective, even if you have all of that, the suffering that you're going through, and even if you're like, oh yeah, I do this for any person, for any individual, at what point is too much, right? And at what point, like, in a world where say that you're just given this power, no knowledge, no whatever, at what point would you have backed down? You yourself. I'm not talking about like because you think that Emilia is perfect or an individual that you want to go ahead and like, be with, or because they're demi-humans or whatever. In this, like, at what point would you have been like, I'm dying too much, or I'm starting to get used to the idea of dying, or not used to dying, so it's okay for me to die. At what point do you start valuing the little run-throughs that you have and sort of the impact that you're having on these individual things? Granted, it is great for gathering information and fixing your mistakes, but in the process, you're also, I don't know, you're leaving a lot, You're growing, sure, and you're growing in a way that's forcing you down a singular path, which is, for example, Subaru clings to Emilia for his own hope. He's learning a lot. He's growing as a character. He's starting to become more full in that way. But at the same time, any person that, like... so I worked with some criminals before, and I guess I could say this. When a person gets too used to the idea of dying, or likes the idea of sort of like harming others or whatnot, it can become a very dangerous trope where they're more willing to go ahead and put themselves in riskier situations, or they just become really methodical. So this is sort of where I'm leaning towards. It's like, hopefully we get to see that part in like the anime where we get to see a little bit more of his psyche, just see how it starts affecting it. Like, I would personally be exhausted. He's gotten like no break. The way that the anime is portrayed it. I'm not sure about the light novel. As I said, I haven't read the light novel. But the way that the anime is portrayed it, it's just like one event after the other. And even if it was like, an ounce of what's happening here, a lot of people would be tired. They'd be exhausted, would be traumatized, which let's admit, it is very traumatizing. But even off of that, like, it's just a lot to deal with. And I don't think any person that doesn't have, I don't know, a strong goal towards to go to would be okay. Oh, Otto. Stop lying, dude. Yeah. You're not even caring about it. Yeah. Yep. So I think something that needs to be brought up, and especially if the trials are about someone's past and you've already seen it, right? And I think this might help the situation out with Emilia, especially going like towards the future, Having a talk with her specifically that like your past doesn't define who you are. And I think this goes for everyone, even in people in counseling, that like, we all do really good things and we do really shitty things at times, And it's sort of having that time where it's like, the actions of our past, while they are our past, we can't technically like erase them just completely. What you can do is you can learn to accept them and say, you know what, I messed up. That was a part of who I was, but it's not a part of who I am or who I'm becoming. Like, I'm trying to become a better individual. I've been learning to do this, and that. It's taking accountability, sort of for what's happened. So I even wonder, like, does she know what what it is that she's supposed to feel accountable for, right? And one thing is it learning to accept your past, or is it learning to, how do I put it, work with it, Because there's some people that just put up these giant walls and they're like, nope, I'm not even touching my past. There's a lot of trauma, whatever it may be. And nope, it doesn't exist. Nope. And then randomly, throughout the day, you'll see that they start crying. They start having ups and downs, mood shifts. They might even start fronting. Like different personalities start coming through and they start fronting, so on and so forth. There's a wide parameter of things where it's like, and this is where I'll urge anyone that's watching this, like, if you guys have gone through anything in your lives, please seek out professional medical help. You know, a psychologist, anything like that in the realms. Just because it is good to go ahead and just have someone sit there and empathize and use different therapeutic methods to go ahead and help out. So those are just my 2 cents. And yes, even breakups, because it does hurt and it can leave a lot of trauma if you're not careful. So any form of trauma, it is what you deem as a traumatic event. Go ahead and seek out whatever mental help if you can, professional mental help rather well said. And being too calm, yeah. I mean, true. Turns out Otto has someone. It's like, but I also have someone. I'm kidding. That would just be hilarious. Oh. I think what Otto was trying to lean towards is Subaru should be go ahead and be able to trust him and lean more on him as well, especially since you're business partners. But to the point where he's now being involved in discussions and meetings outside of that, Yeah, it should. I don't think he. Oh, no. Don't even try. This guy walks you through a forest alone. Is not following a routine like most other people. Walks you out into the middle of a field with the young lady, young elf-looking thing, demi-human thing. They're just waiting for you. Is that the best idea for a talk instead of having it in the cabin where you were previously? That's some sketch vibe. Yeah, Ruzu. Hmm. Okay, well, at least you're accepting that it is your own selfish reason. Being honest with all of you, now that I'm thinking about it, and I'm gonna try and go ahead and omega brain this, not just 5 head. We're talking about omega brain, what would Ed do in a situation like this, right? So omega brain, what I would go ahead and do is facing this trial is like a 3 or 4 step plan. Right? The first thing you got to do is you got to go ahead and build up Emilia to be comfortable with going ahead and facing their past, right? How do you do this? Well, you got to be dorky in every sense of the way, right? You got to empathize, reflect, humanize, be there with them, whatnot, right? I would probably get the villagers along the way, just to root for her. If you could, or since Subaru can go ahead and go in there, right? Sort of leave a nice message, do a letter, do something that they can take with them as either a visual representation or a physical representation. Because you need them to be comfortable with the idea that yes, you can't solve everything. You can't be their protector, or you can't be their knight in shining armor all the time and be the number one person that's going to go ahead and solve all the issues in life, because that's not how life works. But what you can do is you can stand by someone and you can help them sort of walk the path of life alongside someone, like a partner or something like that, or just a friend, and that, just because their past was there, it doesn't define who they are today. And therefore, you only know them from what you've experienced being there with them, right? So it's sort of acknowledging the faults in not just yourself or in them, but also acknowledging that like the future is built off of whatever we want to come together to do, right? And if you want to go ahead and become a ruler and be able to do certain things, you kind of have to overcome and be okay, or not just okay, but start to work on some of the issues that your past may have brought. Number two, and now that we see that no matter where you go in the timeline, so if you decide to get there, 5 days later, also will attack, stabby McStab, stab. If you leave early, they're scouting, she's scouting, she'll go in there and she'll attack. The mob beast will, I assume they follow her if she's a leader. So there's a very clear precedent that like you're sort of the catalyst that will go ahead and determine like the maximum days are like 4 or 5, right? So you're sort of the catalyst that will determine how quickly that they will attack. Do you need more people on your side? Yeah, it's gonna sound up, but you probably need to take like, aside from Ram, you probably need to take Otto with you, because why not? Roswell if you can, so on and so forth. Just high-powered individuals back to defend. Because if you go by yourself again, unless you're able to get everyone there and bring them back into the sanctuary, then wait for Amelia to clear it, that's one opportunity. But then that would also mean that like you're running on the hope that they don't go ahead and attack the village, like the people that were brought back to the village, while you run away with them. And I don't know. I don't think that's a good path. Finally, I wonder, and this might seem really like me just trying to find like loopholes. This is like my mind at work. I wonder how this barrier works. So, for example, this is my phone, right? Is the barrier simply that I can't go from A to B, right? Oh, I do not want to open that. Give me a second. Okay, from A to B, or like, is it like a dome, for example? Can you go underneath? Are there flaws? How much power is being consumed, or what caused this barrier to be erected? There's a lot of questions to be asked, a lot of situations to be heard. This is just my brain at work. If you guys have any solutions or any comments as to how you would approach this, let me know. Would you take the trial on by yourself? I personally, I'm okay with sort of my past, so I'm pretty sure I could go ahead and do it if I was in Subaru's shoes. But would people be okay with that? And would anyone try to interfere? That's sort of the next following lines. But that's just like continuing down the line. Would you be okay with taking this trial? So, anyway. Huh. Wait, why? Quarter? Oh, an equal amount. Okay, nice. Hmm. Is that anger because you think she abandoned you too? It's been 10 years? She abandoned this place and she left me here. Like, that's what I'm hearing. That's... Ooh. Oh. Oh no. Oh damn. Okay, you're changing stuff. Yeah. What? Bruh. Where it's like the whole lesson of negotiation again, or like releasing information that he should have taken away from Crush Sama comes to haunt him again, right? It's important lessons to take away. He just said, okay, okay. So they're clearly not happy with you trying to undertake the trial, but yeah, what's the point then? That doesn't, because if Subaru just disappears, what? What's the goal of this? Yeah, you can leave it up to her, but now you have like, oh, he left me. Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, let's focus more on my trauma. What are you doing? Ooh. Everyone's out looking, yeah. Oh, bro. Bro, talk about intimidation. Aw. I mean, I guess he is a merchant, but I thought he was better than that. My heart's kind of broken a little bit because I was like over here thinking, oh, best girl auto, like here we go. But dang, yeah, but you're losing time. Exactly. We're doing some quick maths here. Hmm. Your goal as of this moment is to try and roll yourself up against the wall, then shimmy your arms over your legs. That way you're able to stand and untie yourself, untie your legs. Okay, well, I guess that's not really possible if people are checking up on you. That must suck, though. I mean, yeah, how frustrating would it be the inability to do anything? To just stay there and, know that there's a lot of moving pieces outside and you're not able to intervene. So that would be anxiety inducing, I'm guessing, for a lot of people. You came! Yes! Let's go! Maybe you aren't complete trash. Oh. Oh, shit. 3 days. Yeah, if someone's not in a stable state to take any. And I hate to put it this way, but I guess this will make sense. I guess it'll help make sense for a lot of people because I'm sure that there's some people that are going to be like, oh, anyone can take the trial. Oh, yeah, no, like you can just waltz in there. So in psychology, there's a thing called Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs, and there's big realization charts, self-realization charts that go along with it, right? It's a long story short process, but even for therapy, right? If you're not having your basic needs met, like food, water, shelter, uh, some form of like attachment. It doesn't even have to be a human attachment. It can be like an attachment, for example. Some people attach to anime characters because that's sort of what they want, what they see. There's certain characters, certain people that take it too far, and there's certain people that like project, but nonetheless, it's still a form of attachment, or like as long as you're able to meet some of the basic needs, and as long as you want to. And I guess this is a big thing that I'll keep stressing over and over. Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And it's the same thing with therapy. And especially, and this is why I kind of find it like in a bad state. It's like you can't force someone to relive their trauma and then like without them expecting it, and then be like, okay, you're good. You're ready. You're ready for the outside world. It's like, they weren't ready in the first place to even take the first step to like try and see, if they could do anything about their trauma. And by the way, if you had something traumatic going to, like that happened to you, and you went through like a mental health professional or whatever, I'm sure there's a lot of people that'll attest to it. It's not a journey of A to B. Like there's relapses. There are moments where sometimes those memories get you back down to base level, and you have to, or below base level, and you have to start up again. You might even like drop out of therapy altogether, and then slowly start to make contact again and you know, try and make another, like meet another therapist, or try again with the same therapist, whatever it may be. My point being is like, there, Amelia is clearly not in a stable position to go ahead and undertake this trial. At least in this run through, and they're expecting success. If you were unstable and someone made you face your past, would you be okay? That's just a question for all of you. That is my community update there. Form of oath? Was it just Roswell that told him to kidnap you? Oh, that's rough. What? Oh. Dang, Otto. Otto, the real, like, big merchant here. Why did you do that? Y'all have been through thick and thin. You know that specifically. Well, sometimes you do stuff that's not beneficial for you. If you see someone as a friend. Oh, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, my heart. Oh, that's wonderful. Subaru, I put this together before you. That must mean a lot to him, though. Oh. Oh. Right, because without him you can't really negotiate. Very true. But oh. My heart is so full. I don't think he's so much laughing at him as it is more of a this belief that like he's actually making friends, you know? This is just, oh. Oh. Damn. Oh. There we go. And with that, well, let me see if there's anything else. Here we go. We'll finish. Is that even possible? Yeah? The team is coming together. Let's go. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Y'all better run. Y'all better skip and skedaddle when Get out of there. That's terrifying. Oh, that is absolutely terrifying. That means that now you guys got to run. But would you even stay in this loop, knowing that you only have like 2 days max to go ahead and get rid of everything, or go ahead and fix everything? That's hard, and that'll be a hard pass for me because that's rough. Um, but yeah, no, I appreciate you all so much. Have a great day. If anything, please let me know if you are practicing any self-care. If you guys want me to react to another series, another anime, let me know down in the comments below. As I said, it's not like I'm going to go ahead and do it immediately. I do have some RRL stuff that is popping up that I have to take care of, but you will get a video at least once a week. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.